My name is Jim Hingst out of Troop 377 Trail Life, Mount Vernon, Ohio. And today we're going to talk a little bit about some fire starting, friction fires. We're going to use 3 different types today. We're going to use a bow drill, the pump drill, and a cotton fire roll. And then of course we got our jewett and our bird's nest building material. And we're going to show a little bit about fire lays also and how to get that going. But I guess the thing is with a lot of fire and especially with God, the form of a candle or flame represents both the Holy Spirit and the light of the Lord. Okay, and in order to get your fire to where you need to be, or you got to get it started, and basically you have your different types of fuel. Basically you got your tinder, which is the real small stuff, some like pine needles, things like that. Your kindling, which is about maybe finger size or a little bit smaller than that. Then your small sticks or larger log or smaller logs, I guess. And then you got your big logs, because you want to start with the small stuff, and then you add the next size up, and then next size up, and then when you get it going, you just keep adding the big stuff to it to keep it going. Okay, basically, to get your fire started, you have to have decide what type of fire lays you're going to have, a teepee, a log cabin, or a lean-to. And basically you want to get those things set up first. So when you get your tinder bundle and you get your fire started, your ember going, basically you take that bird's nest that's burning, put it into your fire, and then start letting it go, and take your time with it. Don't try to throw sticks on it, and try to hurry up and get it to roaring fire. Let it take its course. It'll go. If you have it built right, it'll go. Basically, this is our teepee, how all the logs kind of lay up against each other, and we're going to basically take our tinder bundle and throw it right into the bottom of that. It'll start to catch that on fire and work our way up. Have a log cabin fire here, same type of thing. You got your small kindling and tinder down here in the bottom. We're going to put our fire into that, and that'll start to go. And then a lean-to, basically you've got a bigger log, and you put some smaller logs alongside of it, and your kindling and things like that. We'll lay our fire lay into that, our bird's nest, and then that's your lean-to fire. All right, we're going to talk. In order to get the fire going, you got to get an ember going, and it might be a little interesting this afternoon because it's a little bit breezy. We'll probably have to move to our location here to find less wind. But the idea is you want to get a bird's nest built, and basically what a bird's nest is, what I usually do is you start with some jewett, which you can get like at Walmart or any hardware store, and you want to cut a piece of that. And like I said, you want to help your advantage out by, I say you can use like 6 inches of this stuff, but make it longer so that way you get a bigger bird's nest, and that way your frustration levels will be down. But cut off maybe about 7 to 10 inch a piece, maybe 8 inches or so. And the idea is to kind of unwind it. I mean, basically it's kind of like a rope. There's 3 braids in it, which you got your 3 braids, the strength, you got your Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And as you want to do it, what I usually do is try to untwist it a little bit. As you can see, when I untwist, it goes right back. So you try to keep it untwisted and just kind of gently tug on it, and they will come apart. They still twist up. You want to pull those apart, and then basically each strand like that, and then the same thing. You start just kind of lightly pull on it, and I don't lose my strands here. And we just start pulling it apart. And then when you keep pulling on it, eventually it ends up, there's 2 bird's nests in this one. But anyways, you're going to end up with a bird's nest with something like that. And usually after I get all the 3 strands that are torn apart, I'll start putting it together, and I just kind of start smashing it out, flatten it out a little bit, and make a circle out of it like a pancake. And when you're finally done, the idea is to have when you put everything together, you've got your bird's nest. There's the ember will go right down inside there. You pull that over on top of it. And to make things even go a little bit better, take some pine needles and make a bigger bird's nest with that. And the same thing, we're going to wrap that up, and as we fold it over, then that's what we're going to use to light our fire with. All right, basically we're going to talk about the bow drill right here. I've been doing a bow drill for probably about maybe 15 years or more. I'm not sure. Can't remember when I first started it. But there's 4 parts to the bow drill. Basically, you got your bow, which is about your arm's length, and you've got the paracord or rope on that to kind of help go around your spindle, which would be that, which is going to spin it. And also you have your hand holds. And basically, when I first started out, I made blocks out of 2x4s, and you just kind of square it out, and you drill a hole in there to make your hand hold. But the edges are kind of sharp on it, and doesn't really look too natural. But then I got a piece of tree or oak tree in the backyard, cut it down, or had some limbs cut down, and I basically it kind of cups it and makes a nice comfortable handhold. And different sizes, depends on how size your hand is, it works really well. You cut a hole into that, and then that's your handhold. And then of course you got your fireboard, and basically the idea of that, the spindle will spin back and forth in here, and as it spins, you can kind of see how the dark down here where it's been burnt. And as it spins, you'll see a lot of black dust kind of come up around the edge here. And as that black dust kind of comes down, it goes into this little channel which starts building up. And as you can, within about 10-15 seconds, you should start seeing a little bit of smoke. And probably about within 30 seconds, you're going to see a lot of smoke. And then as that builds up, all that dust kind of comes down here. And we'll go into show you how to do it here in a little bit. But the ember will be right here, and then from there you go ahead and start your take that, put it in your bird's nest, and then go ahead. Now the other thing too is, like, when you start this, you need to have some patience, because it is frustrating at times. But the more you do it, and the practice and the technique is what you really need to do. I'll explain that a little bit more here coming up. But also, if you can do some things to make it a more advantage for you, I would go ahead and do that. Like this block right here has a bearing in it, and the idea of that, I'll stick my stick, which I have trimmed down enough to fit inside that bearing, and that's a lot less friction in there, so it makes it spin a lot easier, and you can get it makes it eliminate some frustration that way. Another handhold that works really well, but I don't have one, is like the inline skates. The wheels have ball bearings in the middle. If you just get a wheel, that wheel, you can fit it right in your hand, and that works really well as a handhold. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate the bow drill here. And basically, I'm with my fireboard. I want to get a nice, good-sized leaf, and I'm going to place it underneath the base. I want to catch all my dust and embers. And then sometimes, if it starts making a lot of noise, you can take some leaves or grass, stick it up in the handhold, and then that'll act as a lubricant. And in my bow, there's 2 different ways to get it going. This is going to be the spindle part that's going down into the fireboard, the pointed end. The flatter end's up in the handhold area. But I wanted, if I usually this is the handle I'm going to hold this way, I always stick that out first, and then basically I can twist it, and it should kind of lock in place. As you can see, the spindle is to the outside of the rope. You can have it so it's the inside of the rope, but your knuckles get in there, and that could hurt. So I always put the handle part where I'm going to hold the handle here at end, flip it over, that way it keeps it to the outside. Now I'll go ahead and stick that in the slot. The idea is I want to get my foot up against about the go back behind the ball of the foot, get it centered in there. And the idea is I want to be able to lock. I'll take my arm, go around the outside of my leg, and put that on the handhold. Then my wrist and hand are going to go right up against my shin to lock it in place. So that way I don't have to fight moving the spindle back and forth. And then we'll just start. You drop this down a little bit. Then we start over here. The idea, you want to try to get your rope towards the middle of the spindle or even down further, because and the other thing is when you use the bow, try to keep it parallel to the ground. That way it'll keep it riding in the same spot. If you go up or down with it, it'll either ride up or down the shaft, and makes more fun that way. But the idea is long strokes. Use your arm and just go back and forth, and hopefully we'll see a little smoke. Right now it's a little bit breezy right now, so we're going to see if we can get something going. There's a little bit of smoke there. It's taking a little bit longer right now because of the wind. You'll see the black dust start to build up around the spindle, and the smoke starts getting better. There we go. And you can see that dust is really pushing out right now. Get a nice clump of dust, and we'll see if we got anything. Yep, we got one. You can see, and that'll last for a little while. So you don't have to really rush it. You can see it's kind of keep that together. We'll go get a bird's nest. Went out.
Okay. Anyway, we can use that as a...
No, that's still going.
That's good. Oh yeah, it is. Look at that.
The idea is to gently blow on it. Don't blow on it really hard. You don't want to put it out. You just want to kind of add some and get ready to drop it when it goes up. There we go. But that's how you start a fire with a bow drill. Okay, now we're going to talk about the pump drill. I built this. I think one of the other trailmen or leaders gave me an idea. I think it was Kent Marks, said about you need to build a pump drill. It's like, okay. So I decided to go look into that, what they are. And basically what it is, it's, you know, you've got the same kind of thing as a bow drill, but except you have the fireboard's the same thing. You've got your spindle, which is the whole part of it, but also you've got the handle is everything kind of built into one, and rope. But we'll stick it into the slot, and the idea is you wind it up, and you make sure you try to keep your handle perpendicular or parallel to the ground or the fire, and as you go, put your hands out here and just kind of go back and forth, up and down. You want to keep a nice rhythm, and probably a little bit of pressure. And also too, as the handle is coming up, add a little bit of pressure to keep that handle, because if you pull up on it, you'll pull that spindle right out of the fireboard. But that's basically what you want to do. And then you kind of, as you kind of push down on it, you kind of build your speed up. I'm not sure if we're getting any smoke yet or not. The other thing one disadvantage of this is with the flywheel, it's kind of hard to see the ember down there. But the idea, when I made this, basically I took a broomstick to start it out with, and then the flywheel itself is nothing but 2 3/4 inch boards. I took the router and made a 7-inch circle for those two, put them both together, and then when I drilled a hole in the inside of that, it didn't quite, it's just a little bit tight for this shaft, so basically I sanded it down enough where I could get it on top of the shaft. Then I just started pounding it down and then got it lodged in place. If I wanted to, I could probably drill a hole in the side here and put a screw or something in there, help anchor it in place, but it seems to be doing pretty good the way it is. Also too, I made it so the bit comes out of here. It's a replaceable bit, and when I first had it, I drilled a hole in here and I could put the bit in there, and it cracked on me, so I ended up using the hose clamp to go on top of that, which gives a little bit of space so I can actually get it in there, and I can clamp down on it. Keeps it nice and tight. As you can see, this bit is starting to get a little worn right now. Last time I had these out, the guys were trailmen were busy trying to start fires, and one of the pump drills, it's actually almost down into here. It's actually burning the shaft itself, but they need to be replaced. And usually what I do is, like my bow drill spindles, like this one's getting a little bit too short. What I can do is I can cut pieces of that off, and then I'll bevel the edges off so that'll fit down into this slot, and that way I get a new bit for it. Then I don't have to worry about making a whole new pump drill. But that's the pump drill. All right, we're gonna try the pump drill here. Give it a whirl. Got to spin it up so I can get it ready. And I'll set it in my little hole. It doesn't really matter on this one. I'm gonna put my foot on this side of it this time and give it a whirl. And we should start going to town. Got a little bit of smoke now. Hopefully the wind's not going to affect it too much, but I guess we'll find out. The other thing you can do is either try to make a windbreak. It's getting pretty breezy now, so. But I have it my back to the wind, so hopefully that'll help out some. Here we go. Now we're going to discuss the cotton fire roll. Usually it's a fairly easy fire starter. Basically all you have, like, you have your two boards. I usually take a 3/4 inch piece of plywood, put the rough side up, and then like a 2x4 for the top board, and all you need is just regular ash. Like you have your campfire, get the fine ash that's left over, and that's all that is right there, and a cotton ball, and that's all you're going to need to start it. Basically call it a cotton ball, but it's a cotton roll. You find the end of it and you unroll it. And we're going to lay that down just like that. And then your ash. All you want to do is just kind of get the inside of that. I've seen some videos that say you only need to go about halfway and that's all you need. I'll put a little extra on there. And the idea is you want to tighten it up, get a nice tight roll to start out with. It's kind of like rolling up your sleeping bag. It doesn't have to be perfectly tight, but we want to get it fairly snug. As you can see, that's kind of still pretty good size. But since we were rolling it from right to left, that's why I want to continue to roll it that way. I'll take the 2x4 now, and basically I'm just going to put pressure on it and get it tighter. So basically I've got a nice tight roll, and from there we can go back and forth. We'll show that here in just a little bit, going back and forth. Then as the ash inside there, which is carbon, starts to get heated up and build up like that, it'll eventually start that on fire. You'll have a nice little ember out of that. All right, now we're going to do the cotton fire roll. Basically, we've got our cotton with the ash inside kind of rolled up. We need to roll it up tighter. Right now, it's, as you can see, it's not as tight as you need to be. But basically, we're going to put it right on our board and keep it rolling the same direction we rolled it up and get it tighter. About 3 or 4 rolls should do it. That looks pretty good. See how nice and tight that is? That's what we want to see. And now what we're going to do is just kind of go back and forth. Let me get positioned here and see what happens. I can smell it. There we go. Right there. You see it. Basically, sometimes you'll see it kind of start turning light brown, then it starts getting darker. And we'll put that into our bird's nest. A little more protection there. And get ready to toss it when it lights up. That's the cotton fire roll. Okay, closing basically review about basically what we did. We went over the bow drill, the pump drill, the cotton fire roll. We also went over on how to make a bird's nest and also our different fire lays, because when you're out camping or the fire is important. It gives you warmth and heat to cook with. And also, like in Corinthians 13, their work will be shown for what it is, because the day will bring it to light. It will be revealed with fire, and the fire will test the quality of each person's work. So, everyone, hope you have a good time with this, and remember, be patient with it. And if you see someone else do this, kind of walk up, see what they're doing, see if you can kind of learn from some of their techniques. And I'd like to thank John Pinko here for filming with me and helping with this little exercise here today, and walk worthy.
Perfect.